welcome our blood viewers to RTD's News English Edition. As usual, we'll bring to you the major and top highlights of tonight. Return of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Ghali to the country after his participation in the 5th Semi-Annual Economic Coordination Meeting held in Nairobi. Launch of work to modernize the budget nomenclatural or budget ministry. And on the international scene, record heat wave spreads across southern Europe. Climate change. Those were the major and top highlights. Welcome back to our newsroom, our beloved viewers. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Ghali, has returned home after taking part in the 5th Biennial Coordination Meeting between the African Union, the regional economic communities, and the regional mechanisms, which was held this morning in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi. Upon leaving the plane, the President of the Republic was welcomed by the Prime Minister, Mr. Abdul Qadir Kamil, as well as members of the government and senior civil and military figures from the country. As we are seeing the footages of the return of the President to the country safely. Following this, the President of the Republic and current Chairman of IGAD, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Ghali, took part in a summit on economic coordination in Africa in Nairobi on Sunday. The summit, which has a different format from a plenary meetings attended by all the continent's heads of state and government, essentially bringing together the chairperson of the African Union Commission, the members of the Bureau of the Organization's Assembly, and the heads of state and government heading and leading Africa's regional economic groupings. This is why, in addition to the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, represented by its chairman in office, President Ismail Omar Ghali, the representatives from all of Africa's regional economic communities, in particular the East African Community, the Southern African Development Community, the Community Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, the Economic Community of Central Africa States, the Economic Community of West African States, the Community of Sahel-Saharan States, and the Arab Maghreb Union. As we all can see the scenes of the huge meeting that took place today morning in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi, gathering all the leaders of the African continent. The summit, which has a different format from the preliminary meetings attended by all the continent's head of state and government, essentially brings together the chairperson of the African Union Commission, the members of the Bureau of the Organization Assembly, and the head of state and government heading Africa's regional economic groupings all in one place. As we all can see, the development of Djibouti, in addition to the Intergovernmental Authority on Development represented by its chairman in office, President Ismail Omar Ghali, the representative of all Africa's regional economic communities, in particular the East African Community, the Southern African Economic Communities, Development Community, the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, the Economic Community of Central Africa States, as well as the Economic Community of West African States, the Community of Sahel-Saharan States, and the Arab Maghreb Union were all present. Speaking at the event, His Excellency President Ismail Omar Guelleh took stock of the measures taken by IGAD to meet the strategic objectives of peace, stability, and economic integration defined by the African Union. Let's listen to His Excellency.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Excellency, my brother Azali Usmani, President of Comoro, Chairperson of the African Union, Excellencies, Heads of States and Government, Your Excellency Musa Faki Mohammed, President of the African Union Commission, Excellency Mahamadou Issoufou, former President of Niger, Excellencies Madame Amina Mohammed, Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, CEOs of regional economic communities, regional mechanism for conflict prevention, management and resolution, as well as AU development agencies. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. First of all, allow me to thank the President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency William Ruto, as well as the Kenyan people for the warm welcome that has been given to us since our arrival in this beautiful city of Nairobi. At the outset, I would like to thank you for the opportunity to report to you as chairperson of IGAD on the state of regional integration in our region. The regularity of the present forum provides us indeed a platform to engage our continent in deliberating on the necessity to ensure efficiency in the execution of our continental programs. And our presence here today attests our solid commitment to deliver on the objectives that we have set for ourselves. The comprehensive report before us today feeds us valuable insights into our progress and challenges in advancing regional integration. According to the data and statistics presented in these reports, the overall regional integration level in IGAD stands at 44% across the 5 dimensions of regional integration. Excellencies, the Djibouti-Ethiopia experience needs to be underlined. Indeed, the unshakable economic and strategic partnership covers numerous fields and sectors and had paved the way to a successful regional integration. The hydropower interconnection, the fiber optic interconnection, the electrified standard gauge railway line are mega projects we financed, built it, and operated together, and constitutes the best illustrations of our outstanding achievements in our process of integration. These commendable strides, I must say, are steps in the right direction towards the realization of our goal of regional economic transformation. However, there is still much work to be done to raise the levels of productive integration in our region. I am pleased to note that Uganda leads the IGAD region in terms of integrated products, productions, and integrated trade, boasting the highest share of exports of intermediate goods and the best share of interstate trade in the region. This exemplifies the potential and achievements of our member states in promoting economic integration. I am also happy to state that Kenya deserves recognition for its high level of integrated infrastructures, which serves as a crucial catalyst for regional connectivity and economic development. Another successful region integration experience is the Ethiopian-Kenya with regard to the power purchase agreement for an uninterrupted and reliable transmission of power to Kenya. Furthermore, I would like to commend the DARE 1 cable system. Indeed, it is the first step in the planned expansion of connectivity into East Africa, which will connect Djibouti, Somalia, and Kenya, and will certainly bring increased capacity and connectivity to our region at large.
Let's listen now to the second part of the speech of the President, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh.
Let me, at this stage, mention Djibouti and Somalia remarkable efforts in facilitating the free movement of goods and individuals, as evidenced by their perfect score in the last assessment by COMESA. Their commitment in enhancing regional mobility sets a positive example for other member states to follow. Turning to the IGAD content from the African Integration Report 2023, we have witnessed notable achievements and in various priority areas. These include transforming capacity to respond to food crisis, enhancing sustainable management of natural resources and the environment, strengthening resilience to climate change impacts, creating an enabling environment for regional trade and integration, enhancing social inclusion and empowering vulnerable populations, and building a peaceful, secure, and stable region. Despite the challenges posed by the climate change, including prolonged drought and locust attacks, IGAD has been proactive in addressing food insecurity and promoting sustainable approach to natural resource management. We have made significant progress in strengthening resilience, delivering strategic interventions in trade policy harmonization, and supporting the implementation of the AFCFTA. Additionally, our efforts to enhance social inclusion, empower vulnerable populations, and foster peace and security have yielded promising outcomes. To overcome administrative challenges and ensure effective implementation, I emphasize the importance of increased resource mobilization and capacity building. We must strengthen cybersecurity and data protection system, especially as we explore the potential of artificial intelligence, predict and prevent disasters, and forge effective partnership with stakeholders and development partners who share our vision of regional integration. Last but not least, we are encouraged by the Horn of Africa initiative that our region is currently implementing with the World Bank. Its main pillars are regional infrastructure connectivity and economic and trade integration, which constitutes a robust platform for our countries to pursue their regional priorities in a decisive and coordinated manner. Excellencies, at the recent 14th IGAD Ordinary Summit, we have adopted the IGAD Treaty, which elevates our organization to fully subscribe to the 1991 Abuja Treaty. This new framework equips IGAD with a comprehensive toolkit to address regional challenges, enhance cooperation, coordination, and collaboration among member states, and strengthen our institutional frameworks. Together, let us forge ahead with renewed determination, guided by the principles of unity, cooperation, and shared prosperity. By harnessing the power of regional integration, we can overcome our challenge, unleash our potential, and create a brighter future to the IGAD region and its people.
Under the patronage of the Minister of the Budget, Mr. Isman Ibrahim Roble, the Aksaya Hotel hosted a workshop to launch work on modernizing the state's budget and chart of accounts. The workshop was attended by senior officials from the Ministry of Budget and the Ministry of Finance, In the presence of an international expert, the aim of the workshop was to implement the budget's reform advocated by His Excellency, the Minister, and to put in place a new legislative and regulatory framework to ensure that transparency, inclusion, and accountability of the public finance management system. The head of the Djibouti embassy, Mrs. Safia Mohammed Ali Gadeli, has issued a statement on improving the business climate here in Djibouti. Improving the business climate is an essential, even crucial lever, she said, if we want to significantly and sustainably boost private investment in our country, declared the Secretary of State for Investment, Mrs. Safia Mohammed Ali Gadeli. The need to improve the return on investment was also raised by her. Under the aegis of the Secretary of State for Sports, the ITRO Association closed its terminate yesterday in the presence of the Secretary of State for Sports, Mr. Hassan Mohammed Kamil, the Vice President of the Obakh Regional Council, Mr. Ahmed Mohammed, the Deputy Director General of the EMPS, Mr. Ahmed Ali, and several other local officials. The final of the tournament pitted the Mabla team against the Amoita team. The two teams played a hostily constant and spectacular match. The players showed great commitment and talent, putting a great show for the fans in attendance. In the end, it was Amoita's team that prevailed in the fateful penalty shootout. After the presentation of the trophies, the evening continued with music at the Obakh Sports Complex. The artists present put a quality performance and set the mood to round off this wonderful day. The ITRO Association, which organized the event, was delighted with the success of the 5th edition of the tournament. The Minister praised the association's commitment and promised further support for the development of sport in the region. The Djibouti para-athletics athlete Hamza Ilmi Farah took part in the African Francophone Games in Cameroon. He won gold medals in both the 200 meters and 400 meters events. This talented young athlete is one of the athletes supported by the IOG scholarship. He lives in Splatla near Addis Ababa and is training hard with a view to taking part in the Olympic Games in Paris in 2024. His objective is clear: to win an Olympic medal and showcase Djibouti's colors on the international stage. By granting an exceptional subsidy to the athletes, the head of state has provided them with the financial means to fulfill their sporting potential. This has borne fruit since the grant was set up. Our athletes, more determined than ever, are sweeping all before them, pushing back their limits and rising to the highest level. The Djiboutian Standards Agency began a series of checks this morning on storage and incoming standards at the wholesaler in the capital city center. This was an announced inspection, particularly of food products on sale on the national market, according to the ADN officials. The aim of the operation is to ensure the foodstuffs are stored in accordance with standards. Two groups of ADN agents, reinforced by a unit from the National Gendarmerie, has been scouring the various wholesalers' shops in the area from the early hours of the morning until the end of the morning. In fact, it is from these large shops in the town center that most of the retailers buy their products. It is therefore reasonable to attack the sources of any risk posed by poorly preserved products. To carry out the program, the agency's Director General, Mr. Awali Usman, went to the site to coordinate and closely monitor the operation. The Peace and Milk Association and the Horn of Africa Research Institute jointly launched a 3-day training course this morning for Djibouti Association NGOs in the Bandar Jadid on internal and external communication. This 3-day training course focuses on communication and advocacy on the themes of sanitation, water, and food security. The aim of this training workshop is to equip Djibouti associations and NGOs to participate in and contribute to the sustainable development that our country has set itself as part of its 2035 vision. In all, more than 30 associations from the capital and the interior regions are taking part in this 3-day training workshop. This training workshop was organized with the support of the European Union, a partner in the development and capacity building of Djibouti associations. IGAD, represented by Mrs. Fathia Alwan, Director of the Health and Social Development Division, and JICA, represented by Mr. Kaneda Masuyuki, President Representative of the JICA office in Djibouti, signed the minutes of the meeting of the launch of a training program, Capacity Building for Lawyers on Business and Human Rights in the IGAD region on Sunday, 16th of July. This is the first official cooperation project between IGAD and JICA. This training is in line with IGAD's roadmap federalization of the free movement of people regime in the region, which is defined as a pillar of regional integration. Recently, prolonged droughts and floods, conflicts, and terrorism have resulted in a large numbers of migrants, refugees, and displaced persons. The free movement of persons regime aims to legalize the travel and standardize education levels and qualifications in order to create quality jobs. Through this training, EJICA will support the creation of a system to protect the human rights of workers, which is necessary for this process. As part of the launch of the Business and Human Rights Project, a team made up of national and international consultants from the CNDH and the UNDP visited Tajura. The delegation was warmly welcomed by the prefect of the Tajura, Mr. Muhammad Abbas. At the prefecture, the delegation then had a meeting with the head of the region and traders in the meeting room of the Tajura Regional Council in the presence of Chairman of the Tajura Regional Council, Umar Hussein. The aim of the project is to raise awareness among private and public economic players about respect for human rights. It is a collaborative project between the CNDH and the UNDP and will enable a national action plan to be drawn up. Shifting gears towards the international scene now and towards Europe, where a record heat wave persisted in southern Europe on Sunday with temperatures of over 40 degrees recorded in Italy and Greece. Yet another sign that global warming is at work. Italy from north to south is experiencing a heat wave with record temperatures expected over the next few days. On Sunday, 16 cities across the country were placed on red alert with temperatures expected to reach 36-37 Celsius from Rome to Bologna before a feared peak early next week. Well, by this, our blood viewers, we finally conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us, and make sure to tune in later for more. Have a wonderful evening. Take care.